First of all, pause this video. Go grab yourself a cup of tea, coffee, some juice, a liquid refreshment, just to sit down. I've got mine, got a cup of tea, and we're going to sit here and talk about mental health because it needs to be spoken about, and we need to sit down with a cup of tea, coffee, or some juice and just talk about the situation. Okay, so we've got our cup of tea, coffee, a liquid refreshment, and we're ready to go. So let's talk about mental health. The reason being, A, it's Mental Health Awareness Week. B, it needs to be spoken about. And 3, it is affecting more and more people every year. And we need to speak about it. There's a massive, taboo about speaking about mental health, and we need to speak about mental health. I was on the internet last night and I was reading an article. I think it was published by YouGov, and they really shocked me because it sort of hit here how much mental health is affecting us all, and I wanted to bring it to you guys from YouGov. All the credit goes to YouGov. This study was an online poll undertaken by YouGov, as I just mentioned, with a sample size of 4,619 respondents, which is the largest stress level study in the UK. The reason why I'm mentioning stress levels is because I feel as though stress is there's a lot of things that affect mental health, but I wanted to focus this mental health video around stress. Yeah, it's the largest study in the UK around stress levels. Obviously, I'm going to university in September to study paramedic science. I know a lot of people who's going to university. It's a stressful time. You're going to be moving away from your family and friends, the place where you've grew up, to a place you've probably never been before. You've probably been once or twice for an interview or an open day, and you're moving there to spend 2-3 years of your life. You're taking out a huge loan. It's a stressful time. You're going to be studying all of the time, and it's stressful. And I think these statistics really show this. I'm gonna say them to you guys, and I hope it really does hit home, and you can see why we need to speak about mental health and stress. So here we go. This is 2018, by the way. This is completely up to date. So, in the past year, 74% of all the respondents have either felt stressed, they've been overwhelmed by the amount of studying they have to do, and they're unable to cope. So 74% of the 4,619 people, 74% of them have been stressed and feel like they can't cope with the stress level that they're having from studying. We pledge our lives to studying at university. We want to achieve great things, and look at that, 74% of us feel the stress levels from university or studying or whatever. That isn't that crazy? 74% feel stressed from studying. The thing we want to do, the thing we want to achieve by, the thing we set out very young, we want to achieve great things, and we become stressed about it, and we feel like we can't cope just from the stress levels of studying. 30% of older people reported never even feeling overwhelmed before or unable to cope in the past year. So let's flip this on to younger people. 30% of the older generation haven't never ever felt stress or feeling overwhelmed of a situation. Let's compare that to, obviously, what we just mentioned before about young people. 74% of young people felt stress. Why do you think this is? Well, I'm going to leave that for you guys to sort of go around your head. Why is it that 30% of older people have never even seemed to be stressed at all, yet 74% of the younger generation have either been stressed or unable to cope? 29% of the study reported that they have been drinking or increased the alcohol tolerance, and 16% reported they have started smoking or increased how much they smoke. This is a problem, as you can imagine, because smoking and drinking lead to more health complications. So not only have we got stress levels are being at risk here, and the mental health, also started smoking and they've started drinking. Now, we all know the complications of smoking and drinking. I'm not going to go into that sort of topic, but we can see how there's more involved from just mental health now and stress, because people have started drinking and smoking or increased their tolerance of that substance. 51% of adults who have felt stressed reported feeling depressed, and 61% reported to feel anxious. Of the people who said they have felt stress at the same point in their lives, 16% have self-harm, 32% have had suicidal thoughts. So let's talk about, say for example, we go to the doctors because we don't feel very well, because we've got a cold or we've got a pain in our chest. That isn't really a taboo. We'll probably go to the doctor straight away because we're concerned about the problem. When we have suicidal thoughts or feeling anxious, let's see that as, you know, the same thing as when we're feeling unwell in ourselves, because we are. If we're having suicidal thoughts, that's the entire thing about mental health. If that's affecting our mental health, we've got poor mental health, we're ill, we're not very well, and we need to go and speak to some professional. When we've got a pain in our chest or we've got like a chest infection, we go and seek advice from a professional, from a doctor. When we're having suicidal thoughts, surely we should be going to seek advice from a doctor. We need to speak about this problem, guys, because it's becoming a very, very big issue. The whole stigma around not wanting to go to the doctors and not wanting to own up to feeling depressed. And we need to own up to feeling depressed and having these suicidal thoughts. Talk to people. Talk to anybody about anything, even me. I would happily listen to anyone who is feeling depressed, wants to own up, and just, because obviously it is very brave for someone to say, I'm feeling depressed, I don't want to be here anymore. That's very brave, and you've also taken that plunge. That's the hardest bit. Now it's just getting advice, obviously, from people. It doesn't have to be, professional, it could be anybody. Just speak to anyone about the problem. 49% of 18 to 24-year-olds have experienced high stress levels, and they feel it was caused by comparing themselves to other people, which is the highest of any age group. So 18 to 24-year-olds is the highest age group of they seem stressed from comparing themselves to others. We live in a society today where we have, mobile phones, social media, and within a click of a button, and go on there and see how perfect everyone's life is. Why do we do that? Why? It does really get under my skin, because we're all unique, we're all amazing. And why do we feel the need to go on social media and see how everyone's life is? Because it's very, very easy to hide something on social media. Obviously, you're not going to post about how you've had a bad day. Most people don't, because it's behind a screen. So don't always see what you see on social media as what the real story is. People do go through rough times, and they're not going to post that on social media. Most people don't post that on social media. So when you feel as though they're having an amazing life, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Focus on who you are as a person. Focus on your beliefs. Focus on your mental health. Focus on your goals and anything you're passionate about. Focus on that. Stop worrying about what everyone else has to worry about, because it's not important at this moment in time. Okay, why am I passionate about mental health? Because I've seen how it's affecting people. I've seen the devastation it's caused for my friends and my family. I've seen firsthand how it can completely change someone's life. I mean, I've seen suicide at its finest. I've seen people take their own lives. It's not nice, and there's a huge ripple effect from suicide. Not just the person who takes their life, but everyone around that person. It causes a huge, huge ripple effect. And that's why I want to bring this video today, because not only if you seek advice early, you can get help, and you can meander out of the thought process in your head. I know it might feel as though you can't at this moment in time, but when you speak to people, it does get better. And I've written a few tips here on how you can manage your mental health better. So I heard about, I think this is a really good idea, by the way, having like a good jar, and everything you have done good in the past, or good thoughts or good things you've achieved, you put it in the jar. And when you're feeling down, because I know most people might feel down when they're in their room alone. When you're feeling alone in your room or wherever, you go into the jar and you pick out good memories, good thoughts, and good things that happened in your life, so you can sort of reminisce and sort of think about how lucky you actually are for living the life you live. I like to listen to music. I'm a very music person. I like Ed Sheeran, so I can sort of relate to any songs he has. Music is a really big thing in mental health, guys. So just listen to your favourite music. Obviously use the jar. There's some park runs that you can do. If you don't know what park run is, you can sign up online, you get a little barcode, and you can just go running or walk in for however long you want to. You can socialise or you can't, it just doesn't matter. And you go out and you can just clear your head by running or jogging or just walking anywhere on this, the route of the park run. And you don't, it's completely anonymous if you want it to be. You don't have to tell anyone that you're doing it, and you can just, I think that's a very good way of clearing your head from stuff that goes on in here, and you can sort of just open up and just clear everything in your mind, because obviously when you're running, you're not going to be really wanting to think about mental health. You're just exhausted. So having a structure to your day now, I think having a structure to your day is very important, because as soon as you wake up, if you have a structure to all your day, you're not even going to have a thought about what's going on in your mental health, because you've got a to-do list throughout your day and you want to achieve these. I feel as though when I achieve something and I tick it off my to-do list, that gives me a sense of accomplishment, and I felt as though I've achieved something throughout that day, if you get what I'm trying to say. So have a to-do list and tick things off as you go along, because that helps with mental health. That helps with, you feel as though you've achieved something throughout the day, if you get what I'm trying to say. Knowing that you're not okay, knowing that you might need help, because like I mentioned before, it's very important for you to say you're not well or you're having suicidal thoughts. You've taken the high, the hardest thing you can do. The rest would be easier than just admitting that you're not very well. There's people that are the special numbers that you can call, which I'll leave in the bio. If you talked about people might have already experienced it, so you can get advice from that sort of stuff. So knowing that you're not very well is the most important thing you can say, so you can get the correct help and the correct support that you need, because it's better to not be alone, and it's better to not worry about it on yourself. Open up and grab everyone by your hand, get a cup of tea and just sit down. Let's not make a to-do about the whole situation, and just speak to people. Speak to one another about your problems, because that is so, so, so important. So yeah. I'm sorry if this video has been, full on. I know I don't make these videos, but it's very important that we speak about mental health. At university, when I do start, we have societies, like football, and anything people are interested in, they can create their own society up. When I move to university in September, I'm going to make a society called Tea and Chat, which is basically you bring your own mug, and we're all gonna put money in a pot for tea, coffee, hot chocolate, any liquid refreshment, and anyone can come to this little group society thing, and we literally just sit and talk about anything, from mental health to pizza, to anything. And I think this is very important, because not only are we just having a taboo about mental health, moving to university is very, very stressful, like I've just mentioned in this study. So if we have people that we can talk about in a group together, we're all experiencing the same thing together. So we can really open up and get out our feelings, because I know it's hard to talk to people if you don't have that trust there, which is why I want to try and build the trust with these amazing people at university, and they'll come together and speak about all our problems, or just speak about, just talk to someone. It's better to be in a group of people than sitting in your room alone at night time. So yeah, that's something I want to set up at university. If you think that's a good idea, or you want to adapt my my idea to, say, your university, please do. I hope this grows to other universities, because I think it's a good idea, and we need to be speaking about mental health more, especially young males, because not many young males, there's a big taboo about young males at the moment speaking about mental health, but mental health in general, all ages, all genders, and all genders. So let's speak about mental health, grab a cup of tea, and just speak about your problems to people. It's been Carl from Two Ordinary Guys. I hope this video has helped. Share it with someone that you're close to, and let's speak about mental health, guys.